Hello everyone, I am Professor Dr. Rajasekaran. Today I plan to give you some tips on how to present your Viva Voce, especially how to defend your thesis in the Viva Voce exam when you are asked with so many questions. And I have seen so many people as a Viva examiner when I conducted Viva exams for the other candidate as an examiner. I have observed how the people usually answer the questions, and as a researcher, even I have my own experience when I did my PhD, and I am a research guide. Currently, I am guiding 6 students, and my first scholar already she has completed her doctorate, and I just collected all my experience as a field experience as a researcher and the research guide and the examiner I have. I plan to share all those strategies. After seeing all these things, I thought that if I make a video on this, it will be really useful to the the future researchers and those who are about to present their thesis in the Viva and other stuff. And basically, when you go for the Viva exam, first thing you have to be really careful about. First and foremost thing, you have to prepare effectively. What do you mean by effective preparation? First thing, what you need to do, please read your thesis, your own research work multiple times. Why am I insisting on this? Because I know that all of you will be doing minimum 3 years. If you take any PhD, duration is minimum 3 years. And probably whatever you have done in the beginning phases of your research, probably you could have missed a certain thing now. That's why you need to know the complete information what is there. I know that you will be having it, but still you need to know a clear-cut idea about everything. That's why you need to read your thesis multiple times. You know what you have presented in your thesis clearly, number one. Number two, as a researcher, you must be a first critique of your own research. First, you know very well that what are the limitations of your study, what are the research gap you are unable to address. No, probably you would have not addressed during your research because of such a limitation, and be aware of all those limitations, what you have not done in your research. What you have done is the one part, what you have not done in your research is the second part. You have to be really careful on those part also. Why? Because in the Viva, most of the people will ask you the question about why you have not done this, why did you do this, all this they'll come to question you many things. So you have to be really careful on those things. So only when you know your limitation, probably you can tell them that these are my limitations in my research. Already I have clearly mentioned in my thesis, and the future researcher can explore in their research on this area. In that way you can defend it. So be aware about what you have done, at the same time what you have not done. This is second thing. Third thing, you need to have a strong preparation. The PowerPoint preparation is very essential, because if you watch my previous video, and you will understand how to I have given a tips about how to prepare a PowerPoint slides. And another video I have given how to present it effectively also. Both are important, because this is the third stage in the Viva. After preparing the PowerPoint presentation, then after presentation only you are going to defend it. So here, if you want to defend properly, first of all you could have presented very well, and for that your PPT should have been really good, and it should be self-explanatory in certain aspect, and you should, if you have followed all the sufficient strategies of making the powerful presentation, then absolutely you could have made a good show. Now the time is for you to answer the question, and how to answer those questions. It makes all the difference in your Viva. First thing, please stay focused, be calm. That means stay focused means when somebody asks you the question, before you answer the question, first thing, please take note of the questions. Because a lot of people, they don't understand the question properly. Just immediately they start to answer the question with half-baked understanding. Please be calm, cool, be composed, take sufficient time, give certain pauses, understand, assimilate the question clearly, then you can answer the question. For that, probably you can note down the questions when somebody asks you the question, and finally you can use that thing to read the question, then you can answer them, number one. Number two, there are people who ask the questions in a very lengthy question they'll be asking. The reason is they'll add all their expertise and all those things, whatever they feel, they'll give their observation, everything. Finally, you will not be able to locate the question in their observation. That's why you have to be very clear whether they are giving observation or questions. Some people will give observation, they never ask you the question. Somebody will give observation, then ask you the question also. So you have to be very careful. You have to listen them carefully. What are their observation when they are asking question? Still you are unable to follow them. Probably you can ask them to ask the question again. And the other way, after that, if you have understood a certain thing, you can reconfirm those questions. Probably telling them again, do you mean this? That way you can tell the question again, and you can reconfirm, and you can answer. These are the strategies you have to follow before you start answering the question. Because if you follow this method only, you will understand. Because these process will help you to comprehend the question effectively. If you do not comprehend, because I have seen in some of the Vivas, the questioner will ask one question, the candidate will understand in an entirely different context, he or she will be answering the question. But that's absolutely a very, very bad thing. Please be careful, understand the question effectively. Then if you do not understand, please you can ask them. You can paraphrase the question in case if you want to know that. Otherwise, just you reconfirm it and then you start answering the question. Now, the questions can be asked in 5 different categories. And you know very well that based on the previous literature which you have worked, because your research is built based on the previous literature. Probably they may ask you the question related to the similar research in your field or the previous researcher, what they have done, how it is different from the previous research. That type of question may come. So, one type of question may come based on your research, previous research. Second thing, you may get questions based on your research methodology. That's a crucial part. Because research methodology is the section where you explain about what type of approach and method you have used, what are the sampling technique or size, or what type of experiment you have done, and how you have done all those things. That is the most important part of any research. So definitely the people, they'll be waiting to identify some gap in the research methodology. That means some you have not done, or you have not followed the research method properly. They'll be waiting to identify the mistake on those things. So you have to be thoroughly clear about your research method, whether if you follow the A, the results will be B. You cannot say that I used B, then result has come A, because logically A has to come first, B has to come second, probably based on the research method. Let me tell you one example. When you say that you have used the qualitative research, but you have used a lot of statistical tool to prove your qualitative research, actually it is wrong. Qualitative research cannot be proved by the statistical tools. Only quantitative research can be proved by the statistical tools. This is the basics of the research methodology. So these type of things they may identify, and when you say that it's a mixed method research, both qualitative and quantitative, then they may check what are the mixed method you have used, where it is quantitative, where it is qualitative. Then they may ask you what is the necessity to mix both methods. All those things they may ask you. You have to be clear. That's why second important question may come from a research methodology. Be very thorough about your objectives of the research questions, how those objectives are achieved. The questions may be asked how those objectives are achieved. Do you have a valid proof and evidences to prove that your objectives are met? You cannot just like that state the abstract statement. You need to prove through your research tool, probably by experiment or maybe by survey or whatever the tool you employed. You need to prove them that this has been done really based on your strenuous research. After this, then you have analysis and discussion section. In analysis, what type of tools you have used to analyze, whether the analysis is valid and reliable. For that, have you employed any proven statistical tool or any other tool to prove that your result is really highly reliable, and those things you need to tell them clearly. In case if you have used a certain algorithm or some other thing, you need to tell them why did you use that thing, how it is relevant to that thing, how it is reliable, all those things you have to quote clearly. And these type of questions may come in the discussion. Why this result has come, why not the other result, they may ask you. If you say that this is my result, then they may ask you why didn't you concentrate on the other part also, they may ask you. So you have to tell them clearly, why did you do this particular analysis, what is the necessity, what way it is relevant to your research, how it is connected to your research method. You have to prove, you have to clearly justify all those things whenever you get a question based on your analysis section. Then comes the last section about the, very well, it's a findings and conclusion. So the first and foremost thing, and apart from all these sections, majority of the question will come based on the findings only. Because they'll ask you, how did you get this finding? Why should we rely on your finding? And you need to tell them that how did you achieve those results based on your research method, how it is proven, what way you have to logically connect the dots from 1, 2, 3, 4. That way you need to tell them. And very importantly, when you present your findings, always try to quote with the other previous researcher, those who have got a similar findings. Not exactly on your finding, the similar researcher could have done some other research, they could have got the finding in different way based on their research objectives. So how you have achieved, so these cross references will prove and ascertain that your research is correct. Your finding is absolutely based on the valid proof methodology. That's why if you have to present your own finding, as well as you can tell them what are the other similar findings in the similar research has happened, not the same research, then it becomes, that it's a copy. But similar research means probably the same objective in a different parameter, how they have got it, all those things. Especially if you can quote with certain established researcher and with the recent research paper, and it is accepted. That's a last thing. And then they may ask you the questions based on the references also. They'll check whether have you given the latest references in your thesis. And in case you are submitting your research work in 2021, you have given the reference only up to 2017. Then definitely they'll ask you the question, didn't you refer anything after the 2017? That's why you have to make sure that you have the reference up to date till you submit your thesis. From that month, what are the major things published in your area, you should have referred, probably certain things you should have added in the reference section to tell the examiner and the other people that you have really referred up to till the last moment you have referred all the latest research papers on your field. And if you take, these are the subject related questions. And what are the other way? In general, you can categorize questions in two ways. One is core questions. That's what based on all your research and sample and the finding and analysis and all those stuff review. And another one is called general question. General questions will not be based on your research, but it will be based on the process of research. What do you mean by process of research? What did you do? Why did you select this research problem? What made you to select this research problem? And what are the learning during your research process? What are the hurdles you have faced? And how did you manage those hurdles? And do you want to share some best experience and worst experience in your research? And what are the most unforgettable experience in your research? In that way, they may ask you a lot of questions. For these questions, you don't need to prepare anything. Simply, you have to tell your experience. That's it. Simply, what you have really got through that experience, during the research, what you have got that experience. Just to tell the experience originally, that's more than enough. So, probably the subject question, based on that, what are the more you need to judge own. You as already told you that you have to be critic on your own thesis. You have to prepare a list of questions will be asked in the Viva based on your expectation. You need to prepare answer for those questions. And similarly for the general questions also, what are the general questions people may ask you like that? How do you feel that this research is relevant to the present day problem? Why this research should be taken by the future researcher. Why should you continue your problem? All these kind of some general questions also. You have to prepare the questions and you be prepared with your answers also. That will help you a lot. So these are the main thing how to handle the questions. Apart from all these things, very important thing is you have to stay composed, cool, and without any nervousness, and you have to answer the question. That's why have to avoid nervousness in case if somebody asks you the tough questions or you do not know the answer. Don't worry. Take some pauses. You can take some time because it's not mandatory that the moment they ask you the question you have to answer it immediately. You can take even a minute pause. You can think. You can go back and you can verify. You can refer your thesis also in case. You can refer the slides and you can tell them. And don't panic when you got a question which is completely out of purview and you never expected such kind of questions. Means don't show the panic. Just be cool and just you try your level best to manage the question based on your knowledge and experience. In case you are damn sure and you have told something but still they are not convinced, then if you try your level best, you are unable to convince them, that means then humbly you accept that you have not dealt in that particular matter in your research, and you can tell them, you can assure them that these things will be taken care in the future research when you further explore your research in the PDF, postdoctoral fellowship or some other thing, you will explore in that way, you can tell them. And the final thing, in case there are people, they want to screw you up in the questions. They want to definitely corner you in the Viva. What to do? Again, same thing is be cool and composed. Try to understand the question clearly. In case if you are strong, nobody can corner you because you will definitely be able to answer the question. Somebody they strongly argue that your point of view is wrong. Please do not argue much in the Viva. Because such kind of questioners, they'll expect you that you have to accept that it is not right. You accept them. You don't accept in the first attempt itself. Initially, you try to give your answer. In case if they accept, that's fine. If they do not accept, they are started to arguing with you. You please don't argue because it will become a kind of ego fight. So that's why, unless you are unable to convince them, better you tell them that okay, this thing will be taken care, and you can tell them that I'll understand. I never thought in this particular direction, and I'll do that way. Just you tell them, because after all they'll be expecting a humble response from you that if you do not know, you don't know. Just you have to accept your ignorance. That's it. And sometime still somebody is fighting with you or they are asking with too much of questions. You can't do anything. Simply you stay cool and composed. Sometime when it goes beyond the limit, probably your guide may help you. Even the examiners also, they may help you in case if you really struggle with certain things sometime. And definitely you'll be able to do that thing. But what if the examiner is asking so many questions and he is cornering you? That's what. Probably when the report you receive, probably they could have given you all their questions, and probably your guide could have told you what are their major questions they have asked in the report. Based on the report and the questions, you prepare well in those areas, and when you are strongly prepared in those areas, probably you can you can present it very well. In case the examiner has exactly pinpointed one mistake, probably you have not concentrated on that thing, then now you have realized, means simply you can't do anything. When they ask you, when they give certain observation, simply you accept and you tell them that in the future you will take upon those things maybe in the further research when you expand your research for the future work. That way only you need to tell them. At the end of the day, you maintain cool, calm and maintain the smiling face. You should not show the attention, and very importantly, don't get angry, because a lot of people there will be there to make you angry also. You should not lose your temper. Just be there cool and composed. Whatever they ask you, just in the pleasant face, just you answer the thing, because by the way of answering the questions, probably it will be very cool for them. Even though they want to pinpoint your mistake, they may not do that because of your nature of presentation, how you are presenting yourself in a very positively. And if you give a positive vibe, definitely you will get a positive thing. Apart from that, something else happens and still people are cornering, nothing can be done. Just you wait there and you have to accept whatever is happening. You can't do anything. because you can follow whatever the strategy I have given now. That's it. In case even after following, somebody is asking so many questions and they are not ready to listen to you, that means they have planned to corner you, they have planned to just screw you up, and simply you have to wait and you have to listen passionately. Patient listening is the only option you have. You don't have anything, because you can't tell them, you can't ask me such kind of questions and all those things. And that time just wait. When something goes beyond the limit, probably somebody else may be there, the examiner or someone else, even from those who are attending, other people also, they may come in favor of you. They may they may support you. Certain occasions also may happen. Don't worry about those things. And if you follow all these tips, because I have observed all these things, because if you follow these things, definitely 99% you can defend your Viva very, very effectively. The only important thing, if you are not strong in your subject, no one can help you. If you are not strong in your subject, no one can help you. That's why I have told you in the beginning itself, you have to prepare strongly based on your thesis. You read multiple times, you understand all the nuances, all the words you have used in the thesis, and if you are strong enough on those things, and most of the time, majority of the time, definitely you can make a wonderful presentation, because as you are aware of all those things, it will be very easy. Guys, I guess you like this video, and if you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe my channel, and if you want to share to your friends, please share it. And in case you want me to ask some other questions, you feel that certain questions I have not answered you in this video, please you can pass your comment in the comment section. Let me answer those questions probably. If required, let me make one more video also. I'll post it in the next video. Okay, and please make sure that prepare well, be confident, and definitely you can give a wonderful Viva and you can emerge as a successful candidate. And with this, let me wind up. Thank you. Bye-bye.